Hello, I am Wicked, and this is
Gwen.
yep. And tonight I look like an FBI agent, as you can
Nah, you look
see.
cool.
Yeah,
Nah, it
that
looks
is
cool.
cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm also going to tell you about a few books. I actually got that drowning book that I was mentioning the other week,
That's cool.
the one with the airplane. I
Yes, I
mentioned the
remember that.
T.A. Newman. I got it.
Hell
Isn't that
yeah.
cool?
Totally cool. Yes.
And I also got the 9/11 commission report and a couple of other books that I written myself. Let me just get that. Oh, I have to get my Apple pen out of the way.
Of course.
These are the books I've written myself, and I'll tell you about them right now. Use your mouth, which doesn't have any dirty meanings. This is by be it reading or writing or talking through things. Words can help the world and its current affairs. Have you ever you heard the saying, use your words? Think about it.
Yes, I've heard something similar to that.
Yep, that's the. And this one is letters to a desperate girl. When I was 14 years old, I was not as good fortune to be in good school. I was in a Catholic school, anyways. Poetry to my young self that might help me in the future if I read about it before. Honest and true about what I've gone through as a child, 14 years old and up, until I finally had the spine to turn down my tormentors and bullies. These are to my younger self, but to anyone who needs to be heard as well. Those were the one. I also have a few others that I've written. A book. Trying to think of the dang book that I've read. Other book I've read. Under the name Sufi Oni the Butcher. That was one of my pseudonyms, and I used it for quite some time until I met my first ex, who was a real pain in my owie, if you remember him.
Of course, I do remember him.
So yeah, you can see why I don't. Yeah, I had to switch that, and then I went to Eleanor Fox Stars. I ended up with let's try to think the names. Today I decided to be the moon, and I am the stars, or I want to be the stars, and I the galaxy. Those are a
Nice.
couple written, and there was something about another thing I've written that I can't remember what the. Yeah, I am a author, and I couldn't remember my first title. I think it must have been no bull crap poems and stuff,
Very
which is
nice.
interesting. Yes. Also, I like to read a lot of different things. Like I have in front of me the 50. You're gonna freak out at this 50 Shades of Grey trilogy.
Yes, I've heard of the trilogy. They've even done movies on the book. I've only seen a few parts of the three movies, but I never saw each of the whole thing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, because of the
Yep.
crap.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right, right, right.
So that being said, it's kind of unusual. Yeah, I have read them before, wanted to read them again, and I was thinking about them. And then I went to the recycling center today and found them.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, as well as I found Lost Horizon, Ben-Hur, and Jacqueline Hyde, among others.
I've also found a few books in a dumpster bin when I was on my way to a vacation Bible school.
Oh,
One of the
really?
books included Master of the Game by Sidney Sheldon. It's about this mother who really goes to great lengths to ensure that her children work for her company.
Oh,
Basically, one of the scary moments of the book was when one of her sons, who was an extraordinary painter, he wanted to go in a different direction from what his mother wanted for him by having a painting career, but then his mom proceeds to sabotage said career, which in turn ended up with him having a lobotomy and being institutionalized. And then there were
that's
other areas of the book that I'm not going to share too much on here. You'll just have to figure it out for yourself. It's like a psychological horror, if you will. I ended up throwing it away
yep.
years later because it was a bit too traumatic, to say the least.
Okay, I understand that. I had to do the same thing with the first 50 Shades. Like, what the? And I was like, what am I reading here? Once I got into it, I was like, okay, I'm getting it's a romance now. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, yes.
But at first, it was like, what is going on here? And I also very interested in the commission report, the 9/11 commission report, which is just basically what they talk about the 9/11 attacks, the plannings, the act of stupidity,
Oh my.
and the math of it. Which will be very interesting. Right now, I'm reading Drowning.
Nice.
Yeah, which is about, and I will try to find the. I have this. It's the airplane one, the full rescue of flight 1421. Reads like this: 6 minutes after imp, uh, the the flight crashes into the Pacific Ocean, and during the evacuation, and the engine explodes and the plane flooded. I think I told you about that, read that. More than
Yes.
200 surface
Yes.
of the sea. Yep, that's one. The Lost Horizons looks like it's about Tibet.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm just gonna see if I see the T word, not as in terrorist. Yep, Tibetan wilderness.
Free Tibet.
Free Tibet, hell yeah. Free Tibet or go home.
Fun fact, the books that I mentioned in the two previous episodes, Shibumi, Cold Harbor, and Inside the Aquarium, those were the books that I found in the same dumpster bin as Master of the Game. I still
Oh,
have them to this day, as you may have seen in the
yep,
previous episode.
yep.
They're still
That's
my favorite.
pretty. Yeah, but Master of the Game spooked you.
Right.
There was a
Spoke to me.
couple of other spooky games that books I must admit that I've come across. When I first read Falling as an ebook before I got it as a book, I was like going around thinking this was a terrible book. And then I read it in the aforementioned format, the paperback, and I said, "This is actually a better book than I thought it was." So it's kind of strange how the same book, I guess it was because I wasn't in a good mood the first time I read it, and it kind of scared the bejesus out of me. The first time, the second time it was great, third time it was great, if you know what I mean.
So maybe I could have read Master of the Game a few more times in order to get used to it.
Well, you could. Well, it depends on your brain.
Yeah. Oh, I also wanted to mention that there were also two other children besides, besides the mom's aforementioned painter son from earlier. The twins
Yeah,
were actually supposed to be aborted, but the mother insisted on the twins being born, and the mother of the twins ultimately ended up dying. The mother of the twins happened to be her son's husband. Her son's wife, excuse me.
holy crow. So that's how she got him to end up with the lobotomy.
He couldn't handle the stress of losing his wife, and he went full on nuts. And I'm not going to go into too much detail of what he does that gets him institutionalized. Again, you'll have to find out for yourself.
Yes. Is it based on a true story?
No, it's entirely fictional.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, very
So,
interesting.
when you mentioned that you wanted to do Zoom today, I was excited because I wanted to do my character.
As do I. I think
Yeah.
this is the most practical thing to do. And
Yes,
it's
instead of wigs and shiznit.
creative.
You know,
It's very
right?
creative.
Yeah. You know, do an FBI agent now. Get it? Because of the way I dressed in that
Right?
outfit. In
You make a
the
really hip agent. Hip as in cool.
thank you. Also, one of my favorite books was Twin Peaks. Have you ever heard of that show before?
I've heard of Twin Peaks. They actually
About the
did a TV
FBI.
show based on the book.
Yeah, and it was about the FBI agent.
Oh, nice.
I saw it at the Dollar Tree. I said, "This looks like a good book." I start reading it, and I see fidelity, bravery, and integrity, and I'm like, "Holy crap, that's my jam!"
Fidelity,
And
bravery, integrity.
yeah, the FBI motto, quote FBI motto. I think it's a human motto for me to be human.
Exactly.
If you want to be human, you got those three words that you can think of right away: fidelity, bravery, and integrity, and away you go. So that would be very interesting. Also, yeah, that would be very interesting indeed to see if people actually follow through on those three words and actually become decent human beings. There's not very many of those these days.
There are not. Absolutely not.
Like that person I told you, I'm not going to say what her name is on here, but she was on Plenty of Fish, the T word, not Tibet, the other T word. I was,
Terrorist.
yeah, you can bleep that out too.
Definitely.
Because the idea of religious extremism to me is not good. It wasn't good 20, 22 years ago or 20 years ago, whenever 9/11 happened, and it's certainly not going to fly with me now. And she was trying to wrangle me in, and I was like, "You're going to pay for it."
At first, when you sent me the screenshot of what this person pulled, it looked to me like she was a wannabe author who did a little bit too much info dumping for her own good, and not to
Yeah,
mention, she was a far leftist.
hate those far leftists. They're like Bin Laden's new cronies. Ugh, just ugh. The idea, I think we got another threat coming, and it isn't a religion. It's going to be the lefties. I bet you 2-1.
Right.
That being said, I read a lot of different stuff, so I know about this subject. I've read World's Most Dangerous Places by Robert Young Pelton, Shake Hands with the Devil by Romeo Dallaire, a bunch of other books on the subject of counterterrorism. I'm not an expert, but I can whiff out a rat. And I think it's the lefties that are going to be next, who are going to be the next big hurdle.
Time has
You
proven
know,
that, that's for sure.
like I'm in the middle. I'm happy in the middle. Wicked in the
Same.
middle. Get it? Like Malcolm in the middle. I'm happy as a latchkey kid, politically and religiously, and that's the way I'd rather see it as. But they think you're in the middle, or you're this way or that way. You're wrong, and it's like you are going to end up in a little orange onesie, and you're not going to be able to get out of Cuba, because it's basically that's what it is going to come down to, is they're going to have to reopen just to get the lefties in. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes, I know what you mean. There are a lot of lefties everywhere these days.
Oh, I
2016
hate
kickstarted the whole thing all. It really did.
2016.
2016, the year Trump got elected. 2016
Oh,
was sure the year that leftism blew up. And it
like
blew up even more in
TV.
2020. Since then,
It's
everything's
been a
going too
ramp.
far to
It's
the
been
left.
a pandemic. It's been a pandemic,
Yep,
and it's got to stop. I tell you,
it
it
needs
really
to.
needs to cut the crap before I end up. Because the next lefty I'm gonna isn't gonna be as lucky to get the block, but they're gonna get a fist. I'm gonna say, yeah, you can meet me, and I got some present for you. Wacko, right in the face.
Ooh,
Yeah,
right?
and I wouldn't mind going to Guantanamo, because it'll be well worth it to see that person lying half dead on the ground. I'm sorry to say that, but they bring out the worst in me.
Yeah,
And
that's
some of them
why.
actually read, huh?
That's exactly why I try to stay out of political discussions, particularly
I
on
try
social
to get
media,
away from it.
because
I get away
they
from it.
are the worst.
I
It's
try to get the fidge away from them as much as possible.
yeah, because
I
it's
try
not
to,
really worth it, you know what I mean? It's not really worth to argue with people who are way too stuck in their ways. And I'm not saying in a conservative way, I mean in the most leftist way possible. Because if you
yeah,
try to argue with these type of people, prepare to either get verbally assaulted or preemptively blocked over the most dumbest BS.
yes. I have mentioned that when I had to recreate uh, Plenty of Fish, that I said, there will be no talk of religion or politics. Don't even start with me there unless you want trouble.
If you really want to discuss politics or religion of any kind, it's best to do so with trusted individuals offline.
Yes, I agree, and certainly not with me, because I can have dark triad traits when I hear those topics. I literally go bonkers. The dark triad, Machiavellism, psychopathy, and sadism. Oh, I got ideas running through my head for the next lefty that comes in running in, unfortunately.
I'm not as brave as you on that.
You'd be afraid of them.
Yes.
I'm not, because those suckers that buggered me up when I was a baby. So I was like, yeah, you're gonna go yourself and your mother and this and that, and you can just go to hell. Because I'm telling you, that's exactly what I thought when I was a baby, and that's exactly what I think now. I was like, you can go beep yourself and your mother and your dog and everything else because you're not a good person to do that. And lefty, and that's what I think. I have read through reading. I have read what the lefties can do that can do a lot of damage. One's 9/11. The other is the genocide in Rwanda. Now, what was your favorite Shakespeare play as a kid?
My favorite Shakespeare play, it'll be cliche. I'm just gonna say it. Romeo and Juliet.
That's okay. That's a good one. I also loved Hamlet and Macbeth because they were kind of like Kill Bill. But, anyways, so I liked Hamlet because he's a family oriented guy. When his father passed away violently, I found that it was very interesting that he chose revenge because when this is what happened when my father made an enemy too. Is a real Lulu of an enemy. She was spreading rumors and stuff and trying to get him in jail. I was ready to go off on her, like go insane on her, like Hamlet did with his uncle or whoever. Spoiler alert. And I found that I was suffering the same thing as Hamlet, like my father's suffering here or is near whatever, and I was going to pounce on someone that walked past my house.
Oh
So
my
that,
goodness.
yeah, that's because my father, because of the code I believe in, the Yakuza code of honor. It's not. It's the Japanese Yakuza are not just freaking mafia. They were actually people like Robin Hood or people who were trying to help other people. They were honorable. They were decent people. They just had tattoos and they were branded as gangsters. And when you get branded as something, sometimes if the shoe fits it, unfortunately, wears it, gets fit on your foot. That being said, I found that it was very unfortunate for the Yakuza. They were more or less like Robin Hood people. They were trying to be good, trying to help the poor and stuff. And they got the butt scratched because of their tattoos.
Oh.
Like most people these days get a lot of the bum rush because of their tattoos. They say, oh, that's for criminals. It must be a. And it's like, So that being said, it's very interesting, and I follow their code of ethics and honor. And if it means my father goes down, I tear everyone else down at the same time. Now it's whenever anyone calls my friend the R word. My friend's the R word. I haven't heard that yet. My friend's being called the R word. But
Yes.
if it were to happen, snap, I would lose control completely.
Well, I mean, that's good because it shows that you care for your friends.
Yes,
If
the same thing when what I nearly did for my father if someone walked by my house that time when he was accused of whatever. he was accused of, I would have said, you know what? Come near the house. I will put barbed wire on it because I'm not going to let you near my father.
Hell no. Hell no.
Though my aunt,
Hell
I'd feed her
no.
to the wolves. My aunt, I'd feed her to the wolves. And my brothers, yet the same thing. I'd say, shark time, swim. Yes, I would say that exactly. Shark time, time for swimmy. Same thing with my birth parents and my aunt and my not so immediate family that weren't my mother and father. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, so that means you were lucky if you were my mother and father or my friend. And you are lucky to be my friend because if I ever catch wind, dark triad time. I also I've read some Canadian poetry. It's pretty good. I like it.
Ooh.
Canadian poetry is not as lefty as you think it is. It's actually pretty good. Some of
What are
it's
the poems about? What are they
nature
about?
mostly. Nature.
Ooh,
Like the
nature.
trees,
Cool.
nature and stuff. That's beautiful.
Yeah. I actually really like flowers. How about you?
I am obsessed with flowers. Morning glories especially. I
That's
am a,
cool.
I love morning glories.
My favorite ones are the rose and marigolds.
Yep. Marigolds because they remind me of my mother. The morning glories because they were highlighted at a time when I did not know I had PTSD or the symptoms of it, and I was actually a happy little fart as a kid. If you were to say that, that was
So
way
was I.
before 9/11, so I was able to. I don't blame the attacks on everything that goes wrong. It triggered a lot of things when I because I didn't see it coming. But, anyways, this was before 9/11, and I was able to be happy and healthy inside my head. And I was enjoying my life. And every time I would turn around, there was a morning glory. And I enjoyed those flowers, and I still do. Also, they can be also called silk flowers, I think they're called. Or ivory flowers, I believe. I'm not sure, but I think that's one pen pal said that. Also, I just love them because they just remind me of happiness, pure happiness.
What's the story? Morning glory.
Yeah, that's right. The morning glory brings me back a lot of happy memories, as well as I like sunflowers. I wish I had a picture of me with the sunflowers. They were that was awesome. And then there was a picture of me with the not so live sunflowers. Those were pretty cool, as well as I enjoyed a lot of. I enjoy a lot of different flowers. I enjoy roses if they're thornless. Thornless.
Ugh. Not a fan of thorns. In
I
spite of my
hate
love
them.
for roses, I hate thorns because they prick you and you bleed. They hurt.
They suck balls or prick balls. More like it. That being said, yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah, I don't like the thorns. Have you ever heard of a stinging nettle? I'm allergic to them.
A stinging nettle? I don't believe I have. I'm afraid.
They're kind of like a thistle. I'm allergic to them. I break out in a rash.
Oh wait,
where
you're
I get
talking about
pricked.
tumbleweeds. Oh, those. Gosh, I hate those.
Yeah,
They suck.
I
They suck.
hate them. They suck, man.
They do. Like, you get a prick on you and it makes you itch. Well, not immediately, but then within a week of you getting pricked by it.
Yes, that's exactly what happened to me. I hate it.
Man, I wish I had
I
the pictures of the aftermath of getting stung by those thistles. Man,
Yes,
you would
I
be
should have showed you
shocked.
pictures of the. Yeah, you should have seen. It look. I look at my wrist now. It looks like I was cutting myself. I never cut
No.
myself once in my life. I was like, this is complete bullshit.
No
You
bueno.
know, like it's.
No bueno.
Yeah, it was like, oh, mother, this feels like a pain in the arse, and it looks like even more asinine because I never did that in my life. And I
Oof.
don't believe in doing that kind of stuff because of the insane clown posse. And even with the books that I have read, where with Chicken Soup for the Teenage Soul, where some people, spoiler alert, have unfortunately done that to themselves, and
No.
they found out that they realized that wasn't the right way to approach their problems. Thank God they found out after the first nick, but still, it's kind of asinine when you see the rash and that turns into scars and it looks like he I mean, I'm running my hand over my wrist, and if he still feels like there's scar tissue, I know there isn't, but it feels like it's like you've got to be joking me. One stinging nettle or a thistle.
My God.
Yes, my doctor thinks I'm allergic to the thinks I should use moisturizer. I only use moisturizer on my freaking tattoos. Other than that, I try to conserve it just for tattoos only.
Of course. Because you don't want to run out of it quickly, right? You want it to last.
Yeah, because I'm always thinking of another tattoo, or I see something else that might be a tattoo. I'm tattoo hunting or tattoo designing all the time. So that being said,
Cool. It's always good
it's
to
very
have a good tattoo. Not just a good tattoo, but something that will age better in the long run.
yes, that too. Yeah, that is true. They always say that. As well as I also am getting where my half my head was shaved is shaved
Nice. Yes, I
is
believe I
going to
saw that.
be shaved, turned into a tattoo because I'm getting sick and tired of having to shave it all the time. Supposedly, if you get your side of your head shaved and then tattooed, you don't have to shave it again because it stumps the hair growth. Or so I was told. So I said, I'm just gonna make a gnarly head tattoo. It says "beautiful mind" and it has a little dipper on it, and I might or might not get it, and it may or may not deter the hair growth. My hair is pretty resilient on my head. It's you can literally throw whatever you want chemical on it and it'll still grow. That aggravating.
Wow, that's
I
pretty
tried
impressive how your
shoving.
hair can work. Pretty
Yeah,
impressive how hair works.
I've shaved it and shaved it. You'd think the scar tissue would tell it to fly a kite. It's still there.
My.
Yes, and I enjoy the I also would you like to start a podcast with me?
I thought we were already doing one right now.
Yeah, I don't have equipment. I could get the equipment to do the podcast.
Well, to me, this counts as a podcast, so that's enough for
Yeah,
me
that's
for now.
good. Yeah, sounds good. Like, I'm interested in astronomy, so that's why my one side that's shaved on my head will be turned into the Little Dipper, and it'll say with the moon, and then it'll say beautiful mind, which will be very interesting.
I think it would be interesting, yes.
Yep. I'm not getting my face tattooed. Hell no.
No, 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 no. I want to see that pretty face. No. Tattoo on
Yeah,
faces, no. No, 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 no,
yeah,
no,
I
no.
know that.
Nada. F that. F that.
I
No.
yeah, I don't want a few piercings on the face, but not the whole damn frickin' face. I'd like to see the face too.
Exactly.
Actually, show which ethnicity I belong to, i.e., skin color.
I'm a white. You're more of an olive color, if you will. Like,
Yep, I am. And I'd rather keep it that way on my face so I know, oh, yeah, that's who I am. I'm mixed race.
technically,
And
so am I. I'm
you
half
are
white
too?
and I'm half Hispanic.
Cool.
Well,
I
half
am white.
European, to be more politically correct.
And what?
More, actually, to be more politically correct, half European, half
Yeah,
Hispanic.
I am Eastern European. Western Asia, which would be Saudi Arabia. No bad comments, please. Also, I
No.
am Afghan, Pakistan, Central Asian, and Tibetan, as well as Southern Asian, which would include Tibet and the Himalayas, as well as China would just let go of their damn grip on Tibet.
Yes. Of
That's
course.
right. I would like to see that country just let go of the Turkestan and the Tibet.
Yeah.
That making it a lot easier to deal with life on the for the other oppressed people, so they can actually live a life similar to ours. Which
Exactly.
is free as a bird. And if China doesn't let up, they're going to get birds from me like middle fingers.
Be careful, because, they're part of the Communist Party. There are, if you ever enter into China and they see you do the bird, you will probably get sent to prison or sent to the gulag. I'm not sure if China has a gulag or not, but yeah,
It's a
don't want to go down that territory. I don't want to lose you.
I know I would give them a bird, but I probably would give them a look that would say, "Really? You should let go of some of these people, these ethnic groups, because they belong. I belong to them. You don't want to mess with me. I can be worse
Hell
than."
no. Hell no.
That's right. Hell no is right because I despise. I was born in a communist country as well. It wasn't just a T word country. It was also a communist country, and it was a real shit show. Let's put it that way.
Yes. Yes, communism has killed millions more than any other ideology out there.
Yes.
Capitalism.
As well as you ever heard of Pol Pot?
I have, yes.
He's an a hole.
Yes.
He did the Cambodian killing fields, and I thought that was just sad.
Right. Pretty sad indeed.
And then there was the Vietnamese, and they tortured anyone who bothered them because they were communist. I thought
Damn.
it was pretty shitty, and they got a good couple of Westerners. I would say Americans, but I say Westerners because they might have had a few Canadians in the bunch, and that kind of pissed me off that they had those prisoners of war, which was pretty
Mm-hmm.
sad.
Mm-hmm.
I've read about that, and it's pretty sad to tell you the truth. And some of them may never be found again because of that goddamn ideology.
Man. Yeah. Capitalism has its own issues, but at least it didn't kill as many people as communism did.
That's right. You know what? Why Siren Head is around? It's to scare people from doing war.
So
The
Siren Head
cryptic,
is anti-war. Am I hearing that
yeah,
right? Yes.
yeah, because the First World War, they started thinking they saw something like Siren Head, and that's how Siren Head, the genesis of Siren Head, came about. And then Trevor Henderson popularized Siren Head, and then we ended up with Siren Head, everything, even stuffies. And I believe that Siren Head is more real, like Trevor Henderson and I's different predecessors from the First, Second World Wars, Korean War, Vietnam, Serbia, and stuff like that, Romania and stuff that have had a lot of wars. It really, Siren Head, it was conceived to scare people from even thinking about the W word. Know what I mean?
I know what you mean, yes. That's what
And
fascinates me about Siren Head, really.
yeah,
Just the way he looks and the story behind it.
yeah. Now they might say there might be different variations of the origins of Siren Head, but I am more believing about the wars because of the air raid sirens. And I think he's real because he only comes around when there's wars and pandemics. And
Like the
right
most
now,
recent
the
one.
war, yeah, which is what we're going through still, as well as he goes around in rural areas. So I've heard him wailing his sirens a couple of times. I've seen him twice actually, which was shocking but true.
That is so cool. That is so cool.
Some people would say that would be freaky, but I also heard from another pen pal long, long ago that she had a daughter who was convinced she saw a siren head, and I said, she's not convinced. I've seen him too, and it's the real McCoy. It isn't fake. It's not just a popularized piece of artwork. It is what it is. It's a real thing, and it's to deter war. Yet some people are dingbats and don't understand the concept of Siren Head and don't whiz themselves. And they end up picking up their assault rifles and stuff and start their wars and stuff. And then Siren Head gets angry and hungry, hangry if you would, and he starts eating. But anything that has protein, meat if you would.
Wow.
Which includes the odd human that are dingbatish enough not to believe in him.
I see. I see.
You take that wrong turn in that, and you have that wrong idea. You take that wrong forest road to nowhere, and then you get scooped up like your medication and gulped down.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's what Siren Head does. Yeah, think about your if you take medication, you scoop them up, you pop them, and down they go. That's what Siren Head does to some idiot people. He scoops them up, pops them in the mouth, whatever side of his whichever siren, and then pops them in that mouth, and then swallows, and you never get seen again. Instead of pills, you're dealing
Bye
with
bye.
meat, meat and stuff. So that's kind of very interesting to hear about. Is that Siren Head is, if you believe in war, or you think it's not a or you think it's a not a necessary evil or something, that like if you think it's a good thing, war, you get scooped up, you get popped in the mouth like a bunch of pills, and down you go.
Bye
And
bye.
do his, yep, bye bye is right. That is right. He's not one to be messed with and he only comes out during war times and pandemics. Since the last two times I saw him, and he left me alone because I'm a peace lover.
That's good.
Yeah, because I know war is a pile of bull crap.
It
So I
is.
have to say the war, and he lets me live. So that's what's important. If that's what the or so that's what the myth is about. Is if you think war, if you're a warmonger, you're going to be his next meal.
Ha ha. To hell
Yeah,
with warmongers.
yeah, the hell with them and terror mongers. That he's numbing along in the Middle East as well with those warmongers. Not trying to be hateful, but just saying that the T words, yeah, they're going to get theirs in the form of karma, I think.
Yes.
You
Payback.
know what? They're
Payback.
going to, the universe is going to dump on them, and it's not going to be pretty. I don't know how or when, but they're going to get theirs. Like, I think my last year's ex was going is going to get the one that kept hacking my shiznet. I think he's going to get his sooner or later. I think more sooner than ever because he's a terror monger.
Right.
Yes, that one. The other one, the most recent one, I'm not going to mention his name for.
Privacy reasons.
Yeah, he hung up on me in the middle of a sentence when I was talking. Like, well, let's just say we're talking now. You decided to end the meeting, and I would be majorly peeved because it's like, well, I didn't get to finish what I said, and it's kind of rude. So
Right.
that's why I don't like that particular one either, because he was rude on the phone, going click goodbye, as if I wasn't even talking, and I was talking. I was trying to be friends with him, and he clicked the shut up button. But
Wow. How rude could he be? How rude can people be?
how stupid can people be? I know. I
Yeah.
don't know what was going through it if he has a brain.
He does, but probably
He
minuscule at
doesn't
best.
use it. He
Right.
doesn't use it yet.
Nope. Nope. Mm-mm.
As well as the idea of he was just a pain in my tuchus. He didn't like tattoos. He didn't like piercings. Let's just say he wouldn't know how to read, even if a book smacked him on the head. I don't know if he's illiterate or not, but he just wasn't. He was ignorant.
He was. He missed out. He really did miss out, but what can you do?
That's on him, not me. No sweat off my back.
I also wanted to continue from an earlier conversation. I actually did meet the creator of the Chicken Soup for the Soul books at WonderCon back in 2018.
Really, you did?
Yes, I did.
I also met a Jewish author. Her name is Gila Green. She wrote the book Passport Control. I think you'll have to look that up on Amazon. She
Okay.
signed mine, and it was very interesting.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, that was the only book signing I ever went to that wasn't me signing a book for my friends.
Well, when I met that particular author of Chicken Soup for the Soul, I did not get an autograph or anything like that, but I did get a bookmark from him. It did have his name and picture on it. I'll have to look up his name later when this thing is over, but it was rather interesting. I ran into him completely on accident while we were sitting on a table, my then fiance and I, and just randomly say hi to him, said hi back, and we had an interesting conversation.
Oh,
It was rather
really?
cool. Yes, really.
I had the same thing happen to me on Facebook with a DJ, and now we're reverting to music.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Yeah, it was very interesting. She's a trans DJ, like transgender, male to
Oh, okay.
female, pretty good person. Same background as me, except for the Romania part. Was
Very cool.
adopted, loves Canada. She lives in New Zealand. That's the only difference.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah, and I think she also has. Don't tell anyone I said that, but she might have. Well, everyone's gonna know, but I think she has the same condition I do, the PTSD.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's just something. It's more common than you think. The PTSD than you would actually like to think. You'd think it was just soldiers and stuff, but it's actually anyone who's just as much as been set up for adoption. They kind of get their brain gives them the screw job.
Yes. Yes, you could put it that way.
Yeah, anything bad that happens, your brain will literally give you the screw job, and it'll haunt
Right.
you for the rest of your life.
Yes, whether it be through abuse, war, practically anything, really.
Yeah,
Anything harmful that I mean.
yes, I think this it's gotten pretty sad that even a breakup, I read somewhere that even breakups can cause PTSD. Not with me, but with other people probably because I kind of went off on them when
Well,
I
it
broke
really
up on.
depends on how bad the breakup is, really. But
Yes, I was gonna say when I read that, I was gonna say this sissy generation. Uh, no offense to anyone that's queer or anything, but I meant sissy as in can't handle anything.
I'm sure they'll understand. Yeah.
Yeah, I meant people who are not able to take a good lumping and say, well, that was a good lumping. You know what
I
I mean? We
know what you
were
mean, yeah.
tougher. You go back in time, the tougher the people were.
Right. and frankly, they looked more mature than we do now.
Yes, and like even as the years will go, the more, I don't know how to put it without being crude or vulgar, but the more catty they will be, like sissy wise. They won't be able to handle a certain thing. Like, and then
Exactly.
that's going to be a cause of PTSD reading a book. And it's like, and I'm going to be like, you can't even handle reading a book. You've got problems.
Yeah, but we just talked about that one book I read earlier.
Yeah, that I understand. That was because that woman was. I'm getting psychopath vibes from her.
Yeah. I forgot the names of the characters in the book. Save for the
Yeah.
twins. I think the twins'
Well,
names from Master of the Game are Evie and Alexandria.
oh, interesting. Evie and
Yeah.
Alexandria. Cool names. Though the person in the book, the Queen Bitch, was a actual psychopath, Machiavellian.
Yes, she was. She was. She was. She was.
Yeah, so she was not a good human being. So it was
No.
human, subhuman. I think psychopaths and them are subhuman because they can't feel anything. They can't feel
Nope.
anything without emotions or remorse or anything for that matter. They just feel nothing. It's as if they have a void between their ears. They can't feel emotions. They can't feel pain, emotional pain. They can't feel remorse or anything like that for that matter. They just feel
Right.
basically like they're in control and they're alpha dogs and stuff, and they're not. They're subhuman and stuff like that. That being said, it's very disturbing to see where they can go from and tell you what to do and be Machiavellian, and then they will try to kill you the next minute, and they're pretty stupid. The psychopaths. I know some people might say they're pretty smart, but if you kill someone, and I think I may have mentioned this, you're a dumbass. And
Exactly.
if you kill for the thrill of it, you're a twit. You're a real dumbass. You know what I mean?
More than a dumbass, I'd say flat out evil.
Evil, yes. That would be a better word too. Evil would be. Evil is stupid.
Yes, and it's a darker kind of stupid.
Yes, that's true. Very dark. Darker than my avatar's eyebrows.
Right. The
So
black
that,
hole.
oh, the singularity, and they're right at the event horizon, those suckers.
Yes.
Yeah, they're not very good. They're not good. They're not good at all. Some people might say, oh, they do have emotions, but they use them at their own convenience. I say they can't, because they can't feel the emotions. Like, you know how I can't feel physical pain?
How?
I just can't feel physical pain. Like, I don't have a very high pain reception. In other words,
Okay.
I don't. You would really have to give me a good lump and make me say ouch. Like, you'd have to put me in a wrestling ring and then see how I'd fare out before I'd end up being put into a hospital, for example. It would have to be very extreme for me to go to the hospital. The pain. So that being said, I don't really feel physical pain, and if I do, I end up in the hospital. Uh, the same thing with psychopaths and emotional pain, emotions, feelings, desires, remorse, sadness, anything. They don't feel that. Just like if you were to pinch me, I can't feel it
I'm
physically.
jelly. I'm really jelly. I have such a low pain tolerance, it's not even funny.
Well, to each their own bodies, I guess. But you get what I mean. Like, same thing with physical pain tolerance. It's the same thing with the emotional. The psychopaths, they don't feel anything.
Yeah, physical pain,
Maybe.
definitely. I'd be screaming and crying if even the slightest thing hurts me.
Yes, I understand that. That's. But I also believe that a lot of emotional pain is a hell of a lot worse sometimes. It's a
Yes,
blessing curse, if you know what I mean. And I think that emotional pain is a blessing because you know you're not soulless psychopath, but then it's also a curse because it's like, shit, I'm having a bad day. You know what I
right?
mean? Oh, Christ, I'm having a bad day. I'm gonna go off, or I'm gonna do this or that, or something stupid, or maybe I'm just gonna bawl my eyes out. It's not that fun, but then again, it's better than being like Ted Bundy, who can't feel anything, or Dahmer, who can't feel anything emotionally or psychologically.
Not to mention Jeff Dahmer is a cannibal.
Yes, I've heard of that.
Mm-hmm.
Many times he was trying to eat the hearts out of a trigger warning. He was trying to eat the hearts out of some of the people and stuff. I think that's what I heard one time. I'll eat your heart out or something.
Yes, that I believe is actually true.
Yep. So I'm just going to say the usual now. Feel free to subscribe, hit the like button, and hit
Yes.
the bell button. And we will see you on Saturday, if most
Applicable.
likely.
Yes, if it's applicable.
Yep, if applicable, Saturday.
Yes.
If not, that's okay. Just do hit the subscribe, the like, and the bell button for more.
Yes. Please click it. Click it. Click
Yep,
'em all.
click them all. Okay, talk to you later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Have a good one. Know that you're well loved, accepted, and safe.
Yes, that too.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.